In today's world, where geopolitical tensions simmer beneath the surface and asymmetric warfare tactics loom, the concept of sleeper cells poses a significant threat. A sleeper cell, defined as a group of operatives clandestinely embedded in a target country or organization, awaits activation to carry out a pre-planned agenda. While this may sound straight out of a spy thriller, the reality is that sleeper cells have been utilized throughout history by various state and non-state actors to execute acts of terrorism, espionage, and sabotage. If you've paid any attention to the news in the last few years, even the mainstream media is covering what seems to be a mass infiltration. The fact that both the left and the right-leaning media outlets are now saying the same thing, that our borders are more porous than Swiss cheese, should give you an idea of how close we are to having sleeper cells throughout the country ready to react simultaneously at any moment. The influx of young, single adult males crossing the southern U.S. border over the past 3 years has raised concerns about potential security threats. While the northern border seems to have experienced fewer undocumented migrants, the infiltration at both borders highlights the need for heightened vigilance. Among these migrants, a significant portion, definitely not of Hispanic origin, could potentially serve as links in sleeper cell networks, posing a serious risk to national security. The activation of sleeper cells represents a grave danger to national security and societal stability. These cells, often composed of individuals who have integrated seamlessly into their host communities, can suddenly spring into action, causing chaos and destruction. Unfortunately, the prevailing sentiment among ideological, political, and religious zealots is often a hatred of the values and interests of the United States. Whether driven by extremist ideologies or deep-seated grievances, many of these people harbor hostility towards the U.S. and its citizens. This animosity underscores the importance of remaining vigilant against potential threats, including the recruitment and activation of sleeper cells within our borders. Whether motivated, again, by the political, ideological, or religious objectives, sleeper cells operate with a covert agenda, exploiting vulnerabilities within the fabric of society. To confront this looming threat, proactive measures must be taken at both the individual and institutional levels. First and foremost, awareness and vigilance are paramount. Sleeper cells can potentially set up in a variety of locations, but historically, they've been known to operate primarily in larger urban areas and suburbs. These areas provide anonymity, a diverse population base for blending in, and access to potential targets for their activities. Additionally, urban centers often offer logistical advantages like transportation hubs and communication infrastructure, which can facilitate coordination and execution of their agenda. However, it's essential to note that sleeper cells can adapt and operate in diverse environments, including rural areas, depending on their objectives and the strategic requirements of their mission. Rural areas may offer advantages like isolation, reduced surveillance, and potential access to remote training grounds or safe houses. Therefore, while urban areas may be more common settings for sleeper cell activity, they can potentially operate anywhere, necessitating vigilance and preparedness across all regions. Citizens must educate themselves on the signs of potential sleeper cell activity, including unusual behavior patterns, secretive communications, and sudden disappearances from social circles or employment. Sleeper cells typically aim to integrate themselves into their host communities to avoid detection and blend in seamlessly. By assimilating into the local population, they can gather intelligence, establish networks, and plan their activities covertly. While they may harbor nefarious intentions, Sleeper cell operatives often strive to appear as ordinary members of society to avoid arousing suspicion. Recognizing signs of sleeper cell activity can be challenging, but there are several indicators that citizens can watch for. Unusual behavior. Be wary of people exhibiting secretive behavior, avoiding social interactions, or displaying sudden changes in their habits or routines. Social isolation. Individuals who seem isolated from their communities, have few friends or connections, or keep to themselves may also raise suspicion. Unexplained wealth or resources. Be cautious of people living beyond their means or acquiring significant resources without any clear source of income. A preoccupation with ideology. Individuals who express extreme or radical ideologies, especially those advocating violence or hostility towards certain groups or institutions, should be monitored closely. Conflicting stories. This is another time when community communication becomes super important. Comparing notes with your neighbors about information these potential sleeper cell participants have shared may show discrepancies in their details. Avoidance of authorities. Individuals who actively avoid law enforcement or security personnel or exhibit hostility towards government institutions may have something to hide. In light of the influx of undocumented migrants, practicing situational awareness is paramount. Remaining vigilant and attentive to your surroundings can help identify potential threats, including the presence of sleeper cell operatives. By staying alert and reporting suspicious activities, individuals can contribute to safeguarding their communities against security risks posed by unknown and undocumented individuals. Furthermore, bolstering community resilience is essential in mitigating the impact of sleeper cell activations. Building strong social networks, fostering trust and cooperation with your neighbors, and promoting open communication channels can help protect communities against external influences seeking to sow discord and division. Additionally, investing in emergency preparedness and response capabilities can enhance society's ability to withstand and to recover from potential terrorist attacks or disruptions orchestrated by sleeper cells. At the governmental level, intelligence agencies and law enforcement entities must prioritize counterterrorism efforts aimed at identifying and neutralizing sleeper cell networks. Enhanced surveillance capabilities, intelligence sharing mechanisms, and interagency cooperation are indispensable tools in this endeavor. The federal government has been actively investigating and prosecuting acts of terrorism. The number of FBI terrorism investigations has more than doubled since 2020, according to the U.S. Government Accountability Office. Unfortunately, in our current government's administration, none of the above neutralization tactics is being implemented with any obvious effectiveness. It seems like a free-for-all at our borders, and many U.S. citizens feel as though they have less rights than the potential threats coming over the border, all while being taxed to give those breaking the laws of our country more rights and freedoms. The specter of sleeper cell activations underscores the need for proactive measures to safeguard national security and societal well-being. By utilizing situational awareness, strengthening that community resilience, and enhancing counterterrorism capabilities, individuals and institutions can collectively confront this ominous threat. Now is the time to remain vigilant, to prepare diligently, and to stand united against the clandestine forces that seek to undermine our shared values and our way of life. As always, I want to hear your thoughts on this very scary subject, so please leave me a comment. And here is a video YouTube has chosen for you to watch next based on your own viewing history.